Hello, Deadlights. Here we go. Episode 3 of It. Welcome to Derry. Now you see it is here. It's dropped. I've seen it. And now we're going to talk about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and you like it, welcome to Derry. Hit that subscribe button. I talk about it and discuss it with you all the time right here on the channel. And let me know your thoughts of episode 3. Now you see it in the comments down below. Did you like it? Not like it? Where does it stand? Are you enjoying this series so far? I, for one, am really enjoying the story that they are giving us. I like Now You See It, or more correctly, It Saw Us. Kind of freaked me out. Not gonna lie. A little bit of here and there. Look, when it comes to horror, I'm a bit of a wuss. There were things I was like, this, I don't like this. I don't like this. Now, if you have not seen It, welcome to Derry episode 3. Now you see it. Hit that pause button. Go watch it. I'll see you in about 56, 58 minutes, whatever it was. It wasn't the longest episode. It wasn't the shortest, but it's a third episode. We got more to come. I'm going to go into spoilers here. I really enjoyed the episode, though, but I will say, well, you go in, you take a picture, Will. I would have been gone. I would have been like, oh, we're gonna conjure a demon. I'm leaving. There's no way I was gonna do it. I love that, though. I love that we got the kids together doing, like, on their bikes, doing kid things that kids did in the 60s, I guess, hunting demons and whatnot. That's what they did. But it was nice to see that. I like that element of it. I also love that we're getting more of the military stuff. I thought this was a great overall episode of It. Welcome to Derry. So right off the bat, the cold open was pretty sick. We start in 1908, and we see a little boy, and he's at the carnival. And he stepped right up, and he goes in to see the freakiest things he can see. And when he walks in, he sees this old man missing an eye, to which my wife said, oh, God. And I was like, yeah, that's not... that's kind of disgusting. And at least the boy getting scared out of this, like, hall of fear and whatever, and he runs out of there. And while he's running out, we see in the distance there's a wagon, and a clown turns. His father approaches the boy and says, hey, let's go. I won you something. I won you this slingshot. Check out this slingshot. The car breaks down. He's like, we need water for the car. Go pay for the water. He gives him some money. He doesn't have enough for the water. So the girl that's selling the water says, hey, give me the slingshot and you can have the water. So he makes that trade. They end up having a really good friendship relationship that summer. They hang out. He goes into the woods that summer. Something chases him, and she saves the day with a slingshot. It's the old man from the carnival. He's chasing the boy, and the slingshot hits him in the eye. The old man in the eye, saving the boy. The girl says, we got to get out of here. They run out. They leave the woods. She goes, for whatever reason, that thing, the it in the woods, does not leave the woods. Once you're out of the woods, you're good. It's kind of like in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Like, once you cross that bridge, my friends, the ghost is through, his power ends. That's kind of the woods in Derry. So once you leave the woods, the creature thing in there can't do it. But the girl is indigenous, and she knows there's something that they know about those woods. Like, don't go in there. Because when he first tries to go in there, she's like, you got to get out. So she knows enough not to go in there. He doesn't. He learns the hard way. And then they move out of there. They move out. The boy moves out of town, which, honestly, the right call. The right call for the boy and the boy's family. Just get out of Derry. If you don't have to be in Derry, get out of Derry. Just hightail it out of there. Then we go right into present day. We cut to the military presence. Yeah, the military is closing in on Derry. So now we're in full Stranger Things meets Stephen King mode. The government knows something is happening. They're tracking electromagnetic pulses, radiation spikes. They even mention an anomaly under the town. So yeah, the military wants to contain it, but let's be real. You can't contain Pennywise, and you can't cage the Deadlights. So then we get into the Dick Hallorann of it all, and Dick is in a tent, and he's playing cards or whatever, and the rain's pouring, and it falls in. They're like, you gotta, like, this is disastrous. You have special privileges with the military. Can you hook us up? He goes, I don't know. He gets called off on a mission. He meets up with Leroy Hanlon and Russo. And first of all, I got to tell you, Hanlon and Russo, I really like their dynamic. I don't know if we're going to get more or how much more we're going to get in this season. I think we're going to get a little bit more, but I actually really enjoyed their dynamic. I was like, I would watch them for longer than this 14 seconds that we're getting. I totally would. But they take Dick Hallorann up into the sky because we learned earlier that, you know what, he's got this shine. Like, they know that he has this special ability and it works. It's proven that it works. The problem is he's not getting anywhere. So they feel like if they put him in the sky, they're on a timeline here. So if they get him in the sky, they hover over the site, over Derry itself, that he might get to what they need sooner than later. I think there's a little bit of fear of bringing him into Derry. We'll learn about that a little bit later. There's a little bit of fear. So they bring him up there. So they get Leroy and Russo to go up there to bring Dick Hallorann up. And when they're up there, they give him a cigar box. And in that cigar box is, from 1908, the slingshot. And Dick puts his hand on it and he's teleported back to 1908. And that's where we see all the stuff that I just told you about. And then it gets fucked up. Just like he goes in there and he sees Pennywise's name on the wagon. The wagon opens up and we go in. We just totally push in to the Deadlights. And like, who are you? We hear the voice call for who he is. And suddenly, as Dick Hallorann says to Shaw later on in the episode, he didn't see it. It saw them. And he has concerns over what's going on. And just nightmare fuel all over on what Dick Hallorann saw. And he's like, I got to get out of here. And when he tries to get out, he opens the door. And instead, he opens the cargo hold for the chopper that they're on. And it opens up. And Leroy comes and saves the day and saves his life and all that's now he's indebted a little bit to Leroy. I think that might play a part later on in the series. But we get that. And he tells Shaw, he's like, look, Shaw, as I said, he's like, I didn't see it. It saw us. And he goes, I don't trust what's going on here. I don't think this is a good idea. And Shaw goes, shut your yap. And walks away because the military knows best. You shut your mouth, Dick Hallorann. Even though we know you have special abilities, I don't care what you have to say about this because I am what I am. And then we learn that Shaw is the boy from 1908 and Rose is the girl that he befriends from 1908, and they have a history together. And when he goes to meet her, he says, I got to be honest with you. When I left here, I forgot all about Derry and I forgot all about you. And he's like, let's work together because what's going on also is the indigenous community is protesting. They're not happy with the military being in there. So he tells her a lie about what they're doing there. And he goes, let's work together for this. You tell me where I can dig, where I can't dig. Let's work together. But he forgot all about her when he left Derry. And she goes, that's common for Derry. When people leave Derry, they don't have any recollection of it. They forget it. It's like worthless to them for whatever reason. They don't understand why this happens. But when he came back, he's like, all of a sudden, all the memories are starting to flood back when he's there. And he goes, let's work together. And it seems like she's going to be on board with working together, even though she's been fed a lie. And I think Rose is the character that she knows he hasn't been totally genuine with her, but I don't think she totally understands the amount of lying that he's doing. I think she knows they're there for it, but she doesn't. But I don't know if she knows the extent of why he's there, that they want to weaponize it and all that. I don't think she understands that quite there. We get another conversation later on between Dick and Leroy. Dick comes over to the Hanlon's house for dinner. Charlotte cooks him a nice meal. We learn that she is an activist and that might pose a problem for Leroy being in the service, and Dick kind of says, yeah, that's a good point. So we're getting that dynamic there. I like that. I hope we get that fleshed out. I can't wait to see how that expands. But later on, it's just Leroy and Dick alone, and Leroy says, I know you were there the first night when I was accosted. He goes, I know you were there. You were in my mind. Get out of my mind. I didn't, because Dick says, ask him about his son. He goes, I didn't tell you I had a son. And then that's when Dick says, look, I've been in your mind. I've been in the mind of a lot of people whose lives have been at risk, and they all see family, their lives flash before their eyes and all that. But you were strategic. You were trying to find the possible outcome. He goes, I don't mess with that. I don't want to get in your mind. And Leroy says, good, don't stay in my mind. And then guess what? Cake is ready. It's mud cake. I've never had a mud cake. I don't know if I would like a mud cake. But it sounds like something I would appreciate if somebody would make me a mud cake one day. I didn't know it was a thing until tonight. There's a mud cake. Be good. The other half of this episode dealt a lot with the kids. We start off with Juniper Hill, and we see that Lily is going to be released from there. She has a conversation with one of the nurses there, and the nurse says, look, if you got to be loyal to your friend. I think at the end of the day, you got to be loyal to your friends. So that's when she decides, okay, you know, whatever it takes, I will help out Ronnie, and I will prove that her father is innocent, because we see that her father is being shipped off to Shawshank. And there is actually now evidence pointing to him lying about where he was the night of the frickin' theater massacre. Hank isn't innocent anymore. I don't know what's going on with Hank. I mean, he's innocent from the events of the Capitol Theater, that obviously there, but he was doing something mischievous that night. They have evidence that takes him away from his house. His alibi is no bueno anymore. They take him away from there. They have, you know, his pack of cigarettes is there. They trick him into telling him the kind of cigarettes he smokes and says, look, I've got proof on you. I've got proof on you. Now, whether or not that was planted or not remains to be seen at this point in time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Was that planted evidence? I feel like if it was, that's just is too perfect. It's just too perfect. Like, he didn't know. It's just too perfect. And the way Hank reacted, he's like, I didn't do it, but he also won't admit where he was. His reaction tells me he wasn't at his home when he says he was at his home. He was out doing something. What he was doing, we're going to find out. But then we get with the kids, and the kids are all hanging out. They're having a good time. We're going to school. And Ronnie's not having a good time. There's a message on her locker. She wipes it off. Foreshadowing blood on her hands, perhaps. That's what I got from it. A lot of foreshadowing with blood. She goes in, wash her hand. Lily says, look, I will tell the truth, but no one's going to believe me. I saw my dead dad. Now they think I'm even crazier than I was. No one's ever going to believe me. The only way to prove what we saw is to take a picture of what we saw. So they decide to take a picture, but they're like, we can't develop it. Nobody will allow this to be developed. We got to find nerds who can develop it. And that's when Ronnie's like, Will Hanlon. Will Hanlon can develop film. I know it because he knows the chemicals that are in a stink bomb, which, I mean, look, for me, I'm like, I would not probably assume that, but like however old they are, 12-year-old, like, yeah, that completely made sense. So they go to Will, who was with his friend Rich, and they're like, hey, we gotta find this thing. And then Rich starts telling them a story about like some kind of like old demon thing that he heard about, and he's like, we can conjure this up. So like, okay, we gotta go conjure up the Orchard. That's what we gotta do. We gotta conjure this thing up. So they decide to go to a cemetery, which is totally normal for kids. I would be like, hey guys, can't do it tonight. I can't. Abbott and Costello's on TV. I just can't do it. Just cannot make the cemetery seance that we're going to have. We've got all these candles. I don't know where they're from. Maybe they're Limelight candles. That's my wife's candles. You can buy them in Port Hope where they shut this. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can make it. But they decided to have this. They decided to conjure up this demon thing. They find out that Rich might be full of crap, but they do their little seance thing. They turn around. They're like, this is stupid. And they all ride their bikes away. And while they're riding, the ghosts of everything just start appearing, like Rich's uncle, Susie, they're all there. Like the ghosts just show up and they all take pictures. The camera going from character to character, like old cartoons used to do. They're going, the camera's flipping around. They're like, you got to grab the camera. But somehow Will ends up alone, and the door to like the mausoleum or whatever just opens up, and he walks in. I'm like, I got to be honest with you. 12-year-old Will is definitely braver than me. I would have been like, I'm moving. Just let's get out of Derry. If you want to stay in Maine, I've been to Maine twice in my life. There are places that are nice in Maine that they don't start with Derry. You can go anywhere. But anyway, so he goes in, there's like a freaky moment there, and he leaves and he goes, I should have believed you. And they decide to go to develop the film. And it took me back to high school when I developed film in high school, which I found out that my wife's high school did not do this. But I was at our door though to get in. You had to it was like a revolving door, like it like spin it shut. It was a black room. You had to like spin it shut to get in. You got the red light on. You would put the chemical in. You put the paper down and do it. And while they're doing it, they start seeing everything they're taking. Everything they say is coming true. And you're like, something is up here. Something is not right. And they do it, and then they get to the last one. They're like, what is that? And it's a clown. Pennywise is coming. Now, are we going to get Pennywise in episode 4? Or are we going to get Pennywise in episode 5, which is where I think we're getting him? Now, look, we might get him sooner. I haven't seen the trailer for. I know that there's like the commercial that just dropped, the teaser for the next. I haven't seen it yet. I'll have my breakdown review of it tomorrow. That was a sick ending though, right? Like they're like, hey, it's a clown, because we're all waiting for the clown. As much as I think I haven't missed Pennywise in the first 3 episodes. Like I have not missed Pennywise. I've loved what they've been doing with the characters, telling the story. But at the back of our minds, we're like, well, Pennywise is showing up, right? You're always like, well, Pennywise is coming into play. When is Pennywise coming into play? And now we're getting close to that. They've seen the clown now. There is a clown. We got Pennywise at the beginning of this, little nods here and there, and then at the end, like, that's a clown. And I was like, and it just ends. And I was like, that is a great ending. I thought it was a fantastic ending. And I really enjoy this show. I just think, like, this show, I joke, like, it scares me and everything. It doesn't really scare me that much. It's like, there are things I'm like, oh man, this is going to get creepy, and it does what it does, and either I'm, I jump or not, because I jump at everything. But I really enjoy the characters. I enjoy the storyline. I enjoy the atmosphere of it all. And it's just a show that quite frankly, I really look forward to watching. I'm like, oh yeah, let's see what's going on in Derry this week. This sounds terrible. Like, I just really like it. I can't wait to see next week. Like, I genuinely, like, when is the next one happening? In this episode, I thought this one was great. I don't think it had the impact of episode 2. I think that one might be the strongest episode of the season so far. I thought episode 1's finale, like the ending of episode 1, was brilliant. That episode 2 was all in all probably the strongest. This one was really good entry, though. I really enjoyed it. I love that we're learning more about what the military wants and why the military wants it and how they know about it. I love that part of it. I mean, obviously, Shaw was chosen for that specific reason, so I love that element of it. I love that they're giving us more backstory on Derry, how when you leave Derry, you know nothing about it. It leaves your mind. You leave Derry and Derry leaves you. It's like a two-way street. I really appreciate that. And I like what they're doing. I like that they're the slow build to Pennywise, and I can't wait to see that first appearance of him. And I think, I thought episode 5 would be it. 4 is seeming pretty likely, just because now they know there's a clown in town. Now they know there's a clown. And once you know there's a clown, right, the clown can show his face. And I'm really, really curious to see how it's going to be, because I feel like the first appearance of Pennywise is going to be truly remarkable, and something that's either going to be terrifying. It's going to be electric. Let's just say that, because I think, you make us wait 4 episodes for them. I think they're just going to blow the doors off of that thing and crush it. But again, I really like this episode. Like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Your thoughts, you can grade it out of 10 if you want. I don't do that. But, just like, I really like this episode. I like this series. That's what it is. Like I said, I like this series. I like where it's going. Can't wait to see where it's going. I'll be back tomorrow with my breakdown of the trailer for episode 4. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate your time. Hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.